What is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, founder of appmasters.com, and welcome to our weekly Friday live streams. And today, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I read her book. I was like, Michelle, she has an app too. You got to come on. So today's guest is a very successful, multi-talented lady. She's a very successful songwriter and rock singer in Australia. Yo, I love an Australian accent. And then she's an author. I finished her book. You got to go check that out as well. Magnet to Money. And she has built an app by the same name. And we have her developer and partner on the app as well. So without further ado, let's bring in Michele Blood and Holly Fala. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Steve P. Young. It's great to be here. We think you're absolutely fabulous, and
so
all the work that you've been doing with our app team, you're fabulous.
Oh, thank you, Michele. Hey, Michele, I really like I told you before, I loved the book. I just finished it, the audio version. It's a really good book, and I want to pull up Michele's website as well. Let me do it this way. There we go. So if you want to learn more, she's got a great offer. If you go to micheleblood.com and then /appmasters, it is also linked up into the YouTube description if you guys want to check it out. But you get the book, you get all this great products from Michele. But Michele, what I want to lead it off with was one of the things that really resonated with me within the book was, hey, don't let your current results dictate your future.
Yeah, it's interesting how many people will not go for it because they look at all the reasons why they can't do it. I don't have enough money. I've never done it before. Yeah. Just excuse after excuse. And people end up not having a happy, purposeful life because they just are looking at what they have not got right now. Mm-hmm. So they're saying to themselves, well, I can't go ahead and start my own business or do this or do that because I don't have ABC. But once you make a decision to, 100% decision, not I'll try, but I'm going to do it. I can do it. I'm doing it. Then everything that is required for you to be able to do it, the ideas, the opportunities, once you've made that decision, everything shows up for you then in your life, no matter what it is. And I just think it's a really important thing for people not to naysay themselves ever again.
Yeah. I know one of the breakthroughs that I had too, Michele, was, before I started this journey, it wasn't like the current results so much, but I heard other entrepreneurs and saying they were like afraid of going out on their own. And as someone, for me, early on, before I started my own business, I was always just doing stuff on the side. And so I was just like a side hustle guy. And I was like, I know how to do stuff. Like I take initiative all the time. I'm working at a full-time job and I'm doing all these side hustles. But then when I heard other people say they were afraid, they had this fear, I started really peeling back the onions and thinking, oh, maybe I am afraid. And that's why I've always kept them on the side versus going out on my own and just going all in. What do you think holds people back, generally speaking?
Well, yeah, of course it's fear. But I think, and it's because people usually don't really know what they want. They haven't had an opportunity or no one has said to them, what do you want? What do you want to be able to achieve in your life? And if you don't have a clear vision, you've got to begin to write down what it is that you want and start visioning it. Because if you don't know what you want, but you want something different, well, then that's an entirely other situation. But no matter what it is, if you're a person who knows what you want, but you're too afraid to do it, start visioning it. Start writing down all of the things that are going to be, that will create for you a beautiful life. And if you say to yourself, thank you for my beautiful life, to your higher self, what does a beautiful life look like? So, and then the people that don't like what they're doing right now, and they don't know what to do differently, what you do is you use affirmations, you use visualization, and you ask your higher self, what is it that I really want to do? And you start looking at all of your experiences that you've had in your life, and you just think to yourself, I've got a really quick story about this.
Please.
There's this lady in New Zealand where I did a big seminar there, and I'm saying to people, what do you want? You can't get what you want if you don't know what it is. And she put her hand up and she said, look, I know what I want, but it's ridiculous. She said, I want to be a piano player, like in a beautiful hotel. And I said to her, well, why can't you do that? And she said, well, you can see I'm a very huge lady. She said, but
Mhm.
the main thing is I've never had a piano lesson in my life. So, so I was like, well, that can't stop you. I said, what I would like you to do is there's something within you, maybe from a past life experience, that if you've got such a desire to play piano, because she was an accountant, she hated her work. I said, what you've got to do is throw out your TV,
Mhm.
and every night you go to practice piano. You're going to get a really good teacher, and you're going to throw out your TV instead of having pizzas or whatever you do and sitting in front of the TV. And within 2 years, she contacted me and she got a gig playing piano. She'd lost 150 pounds. She was
Wow.
she had a gig in Sydney at the Four Seasons, which used to be called the Regent. And so, I mean, anything is possible. If you've got some sort of a desire within you, you really want to do something, well, there's nothing that can stop you. You've just got to go for it.
Yeah, I love it. Angelina agrees. Whoops, playing out on the layouts here. The biggest risk is not to take any at all. I had this saying, Michelle. I don't know if you like this, but I was saying like, look, I think, what are you going to regret more, not taking this risk or taking this risk? Like you're gonna have to weigh the options, and then in the end, when we're all close to the end, we tend to regret the things we didn't end up doing as well.
Yeah, and risk opens the door to opportunity. When
Yeah.
you go for it, even I love the way Bob Proctor used to say it. He'd say there's a terror barrier. And once you jump over that terror barrier, you are you land in the creative plane of life where you can see opportunities. You've broken those shackles. And so do it. Do it scared, but do it no matter what it is, because no one else is going to live your life for you. And don't listen to your family or anyone else say, "Oh, you can't do that. You've got to be able to do this instead." And don't listen to anyone else. If your voice is telling you to do something, your life will change dramatically. You just have to jump
Yeah.
into the deep end, start swimming.
Michelle, right before I was leaving my job, it was literally like I already put in the notice. I gave 3 months notice, a little bit too long, but I like that Friday, and then the first day, that Monday, was on my own. My dad was like, "Are you sure this is a good idea?" And I'm like, "Dad, I can't go back. Like this is done. Like, what am I gonna do?" So I want to say hi to a few people that are here. Yash, how's it going, man? Luke, Ricardo, Angelina. Hello, my favorite time of the week, Steve Time. Oh, thank you, Angelina. Adrian's here. Yeah, I think the audio is working. Jati is here, and then Rudy is here as well. Michelle, the next thing I want to get into is part of the book that I really loved too was pushing the same buttons. And part of it for me was starting this podcast back in 2013 and kind of being like, look, I'm doing everything on the side. Like I thought I would be good at podcasting. I love podcasting, and that changed everything. And another thing that really changed for me, a breakthrough, was during my first year on my own. I was like kind of lost, not really sure what was working, what wasn't working. I was trying out a lot of things. And I went to this event where I was like, hey, this thing is not working. And he's like giving me, feedback on why it's not working. And I was like, what's working? This agency thing. Cause I was trying to sell a course and stuff like that. And I was like, this agency thing is working. So I shut down the course and then I just focused on the agency. And then that, like, my revenues from the first year on my own was like 90,000, and then went to like 160, and then just really just started pumping up after I started not pushing the same buttons and trying something different, because it was, a bit of a risk to go to this event too.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't understand. You know that old saying. The insanity is expecting a change when you keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's insanity. So yeah, Bob Proctor and I, yet again, I talk about Bob because he left the body last year, but he was amazing. We were in Kuala Lumpur and we are at this hotel doing a big event, and we got into the elevator, and everyone's just looking around. And I said, "Has somebody pressed the button?" And everyone said, "Oh no, we thought you'd done it." was like,
Oh my
so,
goodness.
no one had even pressed the button, let alone the same button, So every time we had a certain experience, we would put it in a book or a program and talk about it, because there's so many real life experiences that people can relate to.
Yep. Talk to me about the genesis of the app too, because you have a very successful career. You're an author, you're a musician. And I love, by the way, it's musivation. So it's music with motivation combined. Tell me about the genesis of the app, Magic to Money or Magic.
Yeah, well, it was a few years ago actually,
Yep.
that I said, "Okay, what have I done? I've done ringtones,
Hmm.
so people can have positive music playing. That they can say all these different things. I've done book courses. I've got to do something new." And I was starting to take notice of apps, and I was like, "Wow, I've got so much great content. I can do daily meditations. I can do tons of affirmations, the musical notifications. I mean, I want to do everything. I want to have lots and lots of apps." And so I started asking around a few people, because I had no idea. I mean, when I created ringtones for success.com, when I created that, I didn't have the technology for that either. I had to start looking into it and seeing it, and I ended up partnering with someone in the UK in the end, who could put the ringtone through, but with the app I couldn't find anyone. Everyone I sort of talked to. And then one day I've got the mysticalexperience.com, which is students I teach them positive thinking and
Hmm.
meditation and all these different things. And it just came to me out of the blue. Holly Fala. Holly, ask Holly to do it. And so I said to Holly, "I've got the download from my higher self that you are the one who's going to be my partner, and we're going to create an app together." And she said, "I've never done that before." And I said, "But I know that you can do it, because I got the guidance to get you to do it." And so she said yes. She didn't press the same button. She jumped in. We just went for it. And, then she would give suggestions for content. And so that's how it happened. So it's interesting when you listen to your higher self, that intuition, when you're attuned with that, it'll always guide you on who to work with and who not to work with as well. And so, yeah, I'm so proud of her, the work that she's done. So Trevor Rogers, Johnny Indara, Holly Fowler, and myself created the Magnet to Money app. And it's a real experience. People are raving about it. And I just think that, everyone has done such an amazing job. And now we've got Steve P. Young helping us with marketing. Yay. He is just awesome. He travels at the speed of fabulosity, don't you, Steve?
That's why we connect so well, Michelle. I think we both do.
Yeah, so that's how it started.
Michelle, not many people can match my energy, but I would say you're pretty much matching it on par. All right. I love this topic. Like, I could talk about this all day. Vaclav, at the end of life, people just usually don't regret what they did, but what they could have done but didn't. And then Kevin's here, Alchemist. Shout out to Bob and RIP, and then Miguel is here as well. Holly, let's talk about you a little bit. So from somebody who's never coded a day in our life, maybe, I don't know, you tell me if I'm wrong, but talk to me about how you got started building an app. And obviously Holly and I and Michelle, we've all been working together for a little bit, and I've been trying to coach them towards this app journey, but it's amazing what you've been able to accomplish.
Thank you so much, Steve. Yeah, it's funny. Michelle approached me almost 2 years ago now, asking me to make an app. And at first I thought she was kidding because I never made an app before. But I do have a background in data science and statistics. So I've learned other programming languages. So that definitely did help me with this app for sure. But this building this app was completely different than what I've ever done before. And first, we started off kind of planning what app to make. Michelle has tons of products. She's created so many products over the years. And we were thinking of this app being specifically on her affirmation music. And the Magnet to Money app is a worldwide hit. So that's how the Magnet to Money app was born. And then we decided to design the app ourselves. We used Figma. We created all these designs, decided what features we wanted. We brought it over to a developer, And in the course of that period, we learned so much, and I'll just share 3 key takeaways of what we've learned. So, the first thing I would say is think, rethink, overthink every single feature that you want in your app before even approaching a developer. And I say this because there were certain things we didn't think 100% through. For example, with our notifications, we didn't know if we wanted push notifications or local notifications. Would we use a third-party service like Firebase? What are the costs with that? So what about on airplane mode? So these are all questions we didn't ask ourselves beforehand. And it definitely does add to your cost and your time if you think of these things later on. So that's the first thing, have all those details in the beginning of your planning stages when you're creating the app. And then the second takeaway that served us tremendously well is learn everything yourself. So if you do have a developer, you can learn as the developer is creating your project. Use something like GitHub and learn along the way. That helped us a lot. It served us. And in our experience, so our first developer left a bunch of holes and bugs in our app. So I took the code, I learned everything that was written, the ins and outs, I identified every bug. I went through a thorough testing process. I learned how to test properly. I learned about regression testing, which is basically a checklist of everything that must be functioning within the app. And you go through that checklist every time you want to make a new change or build. And that tracks all the bugs and makes sure that they're addressed properly. And slowly I just started to learn. I was able to make updates myself to the app. I started to take over, and that was the big aha moment for us and huge moment of freedom because we were no longer reliant on anyone else. We had full control over our project, and we were just so happy that we could make any change we wanted ourselves.
Wow.
Yeah. And the third takeaway is that you can totally do this. 100, 1000% do this. There are so many people who have apps out there. You could be the next one. If you have an idea in your heart, definitely pursue it. It wasn't the easiest journey for us. It took a year and a half to make, but there's so many out there who have done it. You can do it too. And just remember, if you do get stuck on something, don't be disheartened. There's something or someone out there who can help and will have the solution. That was our experience. And of course, now we are marketing with the help of Steve, the best of the best, which is awesome. And also, I just really want to emphasize how truly amazing this app is. I have so many people who use it every single day, and I'm included in that.
Yeah.
And it's made me so much happier, so much more fulfilled, I have so much better sleep, peace of mind, focus, and just for the price of a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So it'll change your life, I guarantee it. And another thing that just makes this app so different from other meditation apps is Michele can meditate for hours and hours without a single thought. And you're probably thinking, wow, how is that even possible? It's so hard to do that for even like a minute, right?
Yes.
So if you just take a second right now, not to think just for a second or a millisecond, you'll find that in that moment, you're without any pain and without any suffering. So just imagine all the immense benefits of meditation and what that can do for you. And Michele can transmit this experience to you through her meditation. And you can see for yourself, really, your life will just automatically change and be so much brighter and so much happier. So thank you so much, Steve, for letting me share my journey with you guys.
You know what, Holly, I love what you said, because how I got started, I had a little bit of background in coding. but it was through templates, and I modified a template. But you kind of did that in your own little way, where it was just like, oh, not little, but like in your own way, where you said, look, I'm going to learn alongside while you're building. I'm going to look at your code. I'm going to see what you're doing. I'm going to start understanding it so that, eventually I can take over. I love that tip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Hey, is this your
Yeah.
mom? This is so incredible. I'm in awe. I love it. And then Miguel, Steve. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Holly dominates.
Angelina, Holly, you rock. Proud of you.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But the app also has the Magnet to Money affirmation song, which has been downloaded millions of times all over the world. It's very, very popular. And it has tons of affirmations, not just meditations. So you're listening to all these affirmations that you can repeat after me. And I love the fact that even if someone doesn't know how to change their thinking, this does it for you. You just have to listen. That's all you have to do. And you get the experience, which is awesome. I love technology.
Yes. Michelle, I remember in the book, you guys say, sing it with me. I forget the line, but I did it. It was in the car. Luckily, I was just by myself, but it did actually feel really good singing along with you guys too during the book.
Yeah. Bob singing. The first time we did that, we were in a studio in San Francisco many years ago. And he said, I love your affirmation song so much. Let's do a whole program around it. And he said, okay, now hit it, play it. And I'm engineering, and producing it. And the guy who ran the studio and we nearly wet ourselves laughing because Bob started singing. I'm a magnet to money. It was just, and I actually stopped it and I said, you don't want us to keep that in there, do you? He said, yeah. And I said, is that really how you sing? And he said, yes. He said, because I want them to be, start laughing about it because people get too serious about money. Yeah. And they'd rather talk about sex than money. And money should be just a fun thing. It's energy. It's freedom. And so, yeah, it was extraordinary working with him. He was just fearless.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, one of the things I wanted to point out with you guys too was this approach. So, after you sign up for a trial of the app, you get this, and you can sort of, one of the things I always say is it's good to get emails. Don't do it before the paywall, but get those emails because from a long-term perspective, and you guys say, look, it's like a lead magnet in a way, right? Like we're going to give you the Become a Magnet to Money audiobook for absolutely free. All you got to do is give us your emails. I love this approach here too.
And they're getting my favorite product. I've got hundreds of products. It's my favorite product is the actual audio version of Become a Magnet to Money Through the Sea of Unlimited Consciousness by Bob Proctor and myself. It's a very, very powerful. It's more than a audio book. It's like a program to reprogram yourself.
Yeah. I love it. I have this app called Scribd where it's like Netflix for audiobooks and magazines and all that stuff. So I found it there as well. So if you guys are on Scribd or Audible, you can figure out. But I love Scribd because you should pay a subscription, get unlimited access to all these audiobooks as well. Holly, anything in the app that you want to make sure we show off? And you're like, hey, yo, I'm proud of this one.
The meditations, the sleep program, the affirmations, it's all going to just blow your mind.
I know Mama Fala loved the sleep program too.
Oh yeah.
and the Magnet to Money video that Holly put together on her own. It's incredible. Yeah. So you're getting the visual while you're listening to the song. So you're getting visual of all this magnificent things that you can begin to experience, money and travel. And she's done an extraordinary job on that video because I like visuals for people to be able to actually see it. So people love that video.
Yeah. Michelle, I loved your approach. You said, hey, let's partner up, Holly, and let's do this together. And I think, as I've matured in my business career, I found that collaborations, and I think we vibe with this when I was listening to your book. It's like, look, the world is abundant. Like, people say to me like, oh, isn't she competing with you? I'm like, look, the world is abundant. You can choose to work with her or me. It doesn't really matter. And, you were like, look, I don't need 100% of this. Let's do this together, Holly, and let's go and let's build something special.
Yeah. I mean, I've got everyone that I work with that I love I've always written down what sort of person I wanted to work with. And anyone can do that. Trevor Rogers, who's my office manager, he's extraordinary. I stole him from Blockbusters. But
Well,
I
that
wrote
wasn't
down,
hard,
I
right?
wrote down what I wanted. I wanted someone loyal. I wanted someone who didn't want to do what I do,
Right.
because so many people wanted to work with me because they wanted to learn what I do. And I said, well, no one can do what I do because I'm extraordinary.
That's true.
And so, Trevor, I just wrote everything down, and I was writing a book about Hollywood success, and I was interviewing A-list actors and directors and all these different people. And so he was helping me get the movies. He would order them in so that I could, experience what movies they'd done or been in. And one day I just said, hey, you want to get out of here and start working for me? And he's been with me for about 18 years now.
Oh, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Johnny is my business partner, Johnny Indara, and he's created the most extraordinarily beautiful websites. And he learnt them all from scratch too, because I was doing a TV show and I wanted it to be on a website as well. So all of us have done things that we'd never done before. We just had vision. And that was before streaming started. So he was amazing too. He would go to different night school when he was working. Anyone can get a great team. You really can. You've just got to make sure that you're willing to do whatever it takes, as well as, them.
Well, another thing, I'm going to keep calling the book, but one of the other things you talk about within the book is have multiple streams of income. And Michele, is funny enough, as I'm scrolling through TikTok too, it's just like somebody's like, things I wish I knew before 35 or whatever. It's like, even if you're working at a 9 to 5, have a freelancing gig. Like, it's important to have these multiple streams of income. And I think you're living proof of having this multiple streams of income. You're an author, you're a songwriter, you're an app publisher now. And so I love that tip.
Yeah, well, I think you've got to always be creating, because if you're not creating, you're just, you slipped into something more comfortable like a coma, And if you're creating, you don't. When I first wrote my first book, I was in Kuala Lumpur.
Yep.
And Bob went back to Toronto to do something, and I was setting up for a new event. And I just finished recording six album cassettes and CDs called Affirmation Power. And he said, you should do write a book to go with it. And I said, I can't even type. And he said, oh, well. Anyway, by the time he came back to 5 weeks later, I'd written the book and it was printed.
Wow.
So then, because he thought that was so amazing, so then I did a whole course on how to write a book in 3 days, even if you can't type. So everything I learn, I start a new course for people to buy. So, I mean, it's just so much fun releasing new products and doing things. I mean, one of my students is a truck driver, a female truck driver, and we have just started a video series for her, with me interviewing her about what it's like to be a truck driver. So, I mean, because she didn't think, she was always looking for a multiple stream of income. I said, how many people would love to be on the road with you, like a video of you on the road as a woman on your own, huge truck that she's got and all her experiences. So, I mean, people don't realize that whatever they are doing or they have done, maybe they're a single mum, and they can write a book about being a single mum, bringing up children on your own. I mean, there's no limitations.
I love it. I love it. Well, Ollie, I'm going to have to give you a shout out as well, and you can credit your mom. But Shivam says, Holly, you're looking beautiful. So there you go. All right.
She's a stunner.
Do you guys have any dad jokes ready to go?
Ooh.
Okay, good. Well, let's get into that segment of the show.
Okay, guys, did you know that diarrhea is hereditary?
What?
Yeah,
Really?
it is. It's hereditary. It runs in your genes.
I like that. All right. Michele, I started a business to teach short people math. It's called Making the Little Things Count.
You're not talking about me, right? Because I'm only 5 foot.
I'm only 5'6", 5'7" on a good day. So talking about each other.
You got one, Holly?
I was going to use that one, Michele. Diarrhea one.
Oh, I've got a good Irish joke.
Oh, hold on 1 second. We're gonna play this in round. So if you thought Michelle's joke was better, put M. If you thought my joke was better, put S. And then we'll play for something, Michelle. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. So we'll go into the app audits, and I do have a few more questions for you as well. We got Vaclav. Okay, he's here too. He wants feedback on his onboarding and user retention. So let me pull up his app right real quick. So we've got feed reader, get the browser designed for following blogs and news websites. So it looks more like an RSS reader type of thing too. And then I know Vaclav, he emailed me and said he's got a new onboarding process after watching a few of our videos. So he sent me these, and I will pull these up, and I'll kind of go through these first. And you guys jump in anytime you want. All right. This isn't me. So here are his new screens we'll go through. All right. This article is displayed in the reading mode to protect you from trackers. Vaclav, this is boring text, bro. Like, what? Put it on ChatGPT or something. I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, hey, be more secured in your reading versus, having hackers or whatever. But this article is displayed in reading mode to protect you from trackers. Come on. All right. Aggregated articles are displayed in the grid. All right. Cool. Search for public feeds. Okay. Choose topics. And then he's got his pricing plan here too. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind this. Ollie, you got any feedback on what you've seen so far during the onboarding?
I would say just maybe add some more color fonts, make it more visually attractive.
Yeah.
She's being nice.
Yeah, she's being nice. Yes. Look, Vaclav, you probably this is better text than what you have in your onboarding. And this is what I usually do is I look at your website because you probably spent a bit more time on the website with some of the information you want. Make the most out of every spare minute, organize your reading in one place, avoid information overload, step over your social, save time, support the environment, like be untouchable. Be untouchable hackers, way better, bro, than the article is displayed in reading mode to protect you from trackers. No, not good.
Yeah, the website stuff's great.
Yeah, the website copy is way better than maybe he's used ChatGPT on the website and not so much on the onboarding secrets. And then the paywall page, I would say you want to bring people more into the yearly as much as possible. The lifetime value of a yearly subscriber is way higher than the monthly. And so if you think about a monthly user, if they sign up, let's say one of your more popular plans is $2.99, that's likely going to be around $9 for you. Whereas if you can get somebody to, pay hopefully $20 a year or $30 a year, you've just like 2x your revenue really quick. And we saw a similar thing with a client of ours who was just offering the monthly, by the way, and doing pretty well, just doing that. And then I was like, let's try yearly. Let's see what we can do. We went from a monthly 30-day trial to a yearly 7-day trial and still having the monthly option with no trial. And that brought their revenues up by 200%. And they were already doing well. They were doing over 10 figures. Not 10 figures, I'm saying, sorry, $10,000 a month. And so just that simple change really brought them into that 20,000 a month mark as well. So that's what I would say here. And then nobody wants to subscribe. Say like unlock, start free trial since you're giving a month away. I wouldn't give a month away. I'd try to just limit it to 7 days, especially if you're an RSS feed. Like there's that impact. You should be using this every day, right? So, okay. Should we get into the app? Anything else you guys want to say? Let's see what the app looks like. Icon's beautiful. So here's the icon right here. Looks really good. All right. Follow sources you trust. Yeah, I like it. Ooh, little. This is not the ideal blank state. I'm sure you read through when you're building apps, you're like empty state, full state, all this stuff, UI, UX stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I would maybe explain what this app does in
Yeah.
detail.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. Okay. Index and follow. So I'll follow TechCrunch. See what happens.
Yeah, get like a slogan which will just explain what it is.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to go into all the details to start with. I mean, our app is just called Magnet to Money app
Right.
because even though it's got so many different features in different topics, it's the thing. I think that's really good to, yeah, for people my age. You know, I don't know what in the hell this is all about. You don't want to miss out on my demographic.
And show a little demo of how to use the app, something like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Uh-huh.
I think you definitely want your paywall too. And Vaclav, I know you have that now in your paywall. And maybe you've changed a few things, but I think you definitely want your paywall here too. And then if this is for your Windows app, you know, if it's a desktop app, I think people are used to paying more. So you can charge a bit more than just this a little bit. You know, people on the desktop are used to paying at least $20, $30 without free trials, you know, where y'all used to paying for a pretty good amount of money on the desktop stuff too. But the app itself, I think it's solid for a start, but you know, keep going. Go there. All right. Adrian says, I really like the pricing page in the Magnet to Money. Kudos to you on that. I signed up, so I can't show off the paywall page anymore, but yeah. Good job there, Holly.
Good job, Holly.
Holly.
We're loving ourselves some Adrian right now.
He's Irish. Did you say you have an Irish joke or a Scottish joke?
Irish.
Okay, good. He's going to love it. All right, let's go look at the first round. First round, we got S. Thank you, Eric. We got Ricardo, you trader, gave you the win. So it's 2-2. And then, Michelle, you won round 1.
Yay!
So. Hey, Michelle, one thing I wanted to talk to you about was when you were talking about launching all these new things, like, do you not have any fear that this is not going to work out or nobody wants this? Like, what drives you to just keep going and producing all this great content?
Well, because from the get-go, you know, after I had a near fatal car accident and healed myself through writing affirmation music, I never, ever had an intention of selling it because I thought that would be so uncool because I was in a rock band. We had great rock music that we wrote and sang. But what happened was it was out of my hands. Producers, all these people, television and everything, found out about my miraculous healing. And so these people, the first time it happened was these people approached me and they said, we've got Dr. Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer, Stuart and Stuart Wilde, and we'd like you to sing and sell your affirmation music at these big events that we're doing, you know, 3,000 to 4,000 people at each event. And I said, what? And I don't know who any of these people were. That wasn't in my life, motivational speakers or anything. And so before I knew it, my very first gig, I sold thousands and thousands of dollars worth of CDs to all of these people.
Wow.
And it just took off. And then they said, keep writing different music, different topics. Dr. Chopra said, do one for kids. So I did one called Self-Esteem Songs for Kids with the little baby animals and everything, so that I did this gig once and all these little kids show up with their parents. I mean, it was just that once you've changed your thinking and you're really on a path to success, you don't look at if it's not going to happen or if it is going to happen. I just do it because of the creativity, and then, or I get an idea that came through me, and then it was like the universe takes over, because the higher in oscillation you are, your vibration, the frequency of your vibration, well, then the thing that you want will be magnetically attracted to you because you're in the same. Some people say, oh, yeah, I really want so-and-so, but they're not in the oscillation yet. That's why listening to affirmation music and affirmations and visualization, you start vibrating at a faster frequency. Meditation helps you do that as well. And you start attracting things because you're in that vibration. And our students have the most extraordinary things happen to them because they're really, really doing something. And it doesn't mean that you have to be, you know, positive all the time. It's not about that. It's about looking at what can be done instead of what can't be done. Never, ever say to yourself, what if it doesn't work? Who cares if it doesn't work? It doesn't matter. Just be creative. Just keep doing it. And before you know it, things will just start smoothly running for you.
I love that so much. Okay. The other thing I wanted to cover was unlocking that entrepreneurial mindset. So for those who might be in the audience, maybe doing apps on the side, what would you say to them? How do you unlock the
Yeah,
entrepreneur?
very, very good question. If somebody is used to a 9 to 5 job, they've got a mentality of being 9 to 5. The reason they show up in time for work and everything is because they don't want to get sacked. They don't want to get fired. So they're not being creative. And I say to them, first of all, before you, even if you don't know what you want, I want you to start doing your work for this company that you work for, and treat it as if you're one of their business partners. Treat everything that you do as if you're already in business. So you've got that sort of mentality. And because once you realize, you say to yourself, like you gave 3 months notice,
Yeah.
you knew what you wanted to do. Some people don't know what they want to do. Figure out what you want to do. And to start with, definitely do what Steve did. Start doing things on the side. Start learning different, go to colleges and night school. And most people have got Saturday and Sunday free.
Mhm.
And I'm like, why would you not do stuff to learn? Learn how to do stuff. These days, you can learn heart surgery on YouTube practically. I mean, you can always be learning something new. Exercise your body every day. Start, having good nutrition. Get your energy up every day. And you will find that the more you exercise your mind and your body, the more creative ideas will come into you, and you will just be on a rocket ship to success.
Yeah. I love what you said about treating wherever job you're in as your own business. And that's sort of what I did. I got to learn a lot of great things. I don't regret not leaving that job earlier. I left at 33, and it's like I needed my 20s and my early 30s to really develop these skills, because all the skills I was learning while getting paid for a business I'm using today. And I'm like, can I scrape? Can I learn how to code? Can I do all these things so that you don't know how it's going to feed into the future, but it does feed into the future somehow.
Yeah. And I think if people would look at all the experiences that they've had in their life can be utilized, every experience you've ever had, good, bad, indifferent, can be utilized to begin to run your own business and to really enjoy that. Whether you want to be a musician or whatever it is that you want to do, I look at it this way. If people could run their businesses like you run a rock band, right?
Yeah.
Because with a rock band, pop band, whatever you want to call it, you've got to make sure every single musician has to be in tune. Because if one is out of tune, you'll be fired. The whole band will be fired. So you've got to be very, very disciplined within yourself, and make sure that when you do begin working for yourself, that you really look after your health and your physicality, because that makes a difference to the mind. And even as far as drinking a lot of water, because once you feel thirsty, your brain is dry. And when your brain gets too dry, you can't think creatively. So there's so many things to do, and treat it like, this is your life. Like Bob used to always say, well, what are you dying for? Because whatever you're doing now, you're actually dying for. So is it worth dying for, doing the job that you're doing, or are you going to snap out of it? Like Cher said to Nicolas Cage in Moon, whatever that movie was, snap out of it.
I love it. Maybe you'll be proud. I've got this big old water bottle. So.
Oh, good job. Good job. Yeah, I've always got my smart water with me.
Vaclav says, hey, the feed you selected has no article, so the app won't show anything. Try another source. So Vaclav, like, this is the empty state, right? Like, and you make it very hard for me to add another article. Like, it's not even in the settings. I had to really look for it here. I had to go to my feeds and then hit this plus sign. So let's put in, I don't know, NY Times. Well, that might have a feed.
I just think it's wonderful, the amount of people that you're helping.
Oh,
Steve.
thank you. Thank you so much.
I mean, he just gives you all the information you need. He's amazing.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, let's try this feed.
And he's cute.
It's getting hot in here. All right, let's go into round 2. Sorry, I can't. Nothing's adding, so I think there might be a problem. But like maybe even show some popular feeds, because when I go add feed, like show a popular feed already, because it's already empty, right? Like it's a very empty search navigation. So maybe show some that I can just tap to. All right, Michelle, you got another joke, or Holly? Who wants to go this time?
Yeah, but all the Irish people, forgive my Irish accent and don't hate on me after
It's
this.
only Adrian. We're good. It's only
Only
Adrian.
Adrian. Good. Okay. So there's 2 brothers, Patrick and Paddy. And Paddy was a little slow. And Patrick would, always look at him and go, wow, he's really slow. Anyway, one day, this was confounded Paddy, because Patrick walked by and he looked at Paddy sitting in his room for hours that day, just staring at a bottle of orange juice. And he finally came up to him and he said, Paddy, what in the bloody hell are you doing staring at a bottle of Irish just for all these hours? Oh, Patrick, it said concentrate.
That's a great Irish accent, by the way.
To be sure.
I got to practice that one.
My Irish students think it sucks, but I don't care.
Rudy has some feedback about Cloud for you. Just add some default feeds on initial openings. Yeah, exactly. Most users are too lazy to think. They just delete an empty app. So yes, it's true too. I don't know how I can come up with this next one. Let me find one. Okay, here's one. Michelle, Holly, 97% of people are stupid. Thank God I'm in the other 5%. Right, Michelle on that one. All right,
that's a good one. That is a really good one.
All right, Fernando. So once again, if you guys want access, if you want feedback for your app, all you got to go is simple appmasters.com/audit. We have a brand new website up as well, appmasters.com/audit. And there's a free option. We'll do it in future YouTube live stream. And we've got Fernando's app. And Fernando, I think I've looked at your app before, but he wants help with subscriptions and ASO. Ollie, anything from the ASO front that you want to tackle first?
I think I like it. It looks good.
Okay. Yeah, I like it too. I think, he's starting with learning games for kids. So he's probably going after that keyword. Fernando, you're pretty new, and I'm just judging it on 2 ratings, but maybe go after more like lower competition keywords when you're just so new and you're not driving a lot of paid marketing. So this seems like a very competitive keyword. If they're, I personally prefer to be in the niches in the very beginning and then work my way up. And so if it's math games, ABC, and I've started my app career building kids games. And so I'd rather be more niche and then go up to learning games for kids as you start making more money and so forth. So that's the only thing I would say right now. All these keywords are very competitive. And this is what I found. If you think about all the more heavy competition keywords, most people like you, Fernando, are starting with those keywords because they're like, hey, that's the obvious one, but not enough are starting with the bottom ones. And long as there's a search score of at least, let's say 30, you've got enough to start building a business and making some money out of this. We have an app that makes roughly around $10,000 to $15,000 a month, and it ranks number 1 for 2 keywords that have a traffic score of 30 each. So that's all you really need to get to $10,000 a month, in my opinion. So here, you use AppFollow is one of my favorite tools to use in terms of keyword research. But here, let me put in learning games for kids. Let's look through the description real quick. Okay, let's say motor skills. I don't know if it's going to have a lot of keyword volume off of this. Let's say motor skills. That is very kid-oriented. Maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, not a lot. Okay. You're going to have to do more. And what I like to do when I'm trying to look for these keywords too is I'll pick this generic keyword, but learning games for kids as an example. And then I'm looking through the search results to find the app that does not belong. These apps have over 100,000 reviews, 10,000, 9,000, 19,000. Oh, here's one, 336. what the heck? How are they ranking number 9 for an app for a keyword that has a lot of traffic and probably a lot of volume, a lot of difficulty too? So they must be doing something right. So I'll click this little eye icon and then kind of do some keyword research with what I find with these people. And this is where, and then I'll put all these keywords that make sense to my app into like App Radar. You can use App Follow as well, or ASO Mobile, and then kind of figure out which keywords have lower volume than learning, not lower volume, I'm sorry, lower competition than learning games for kids. Right. And then this is how I found different keywords. I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was a thing. And then boom, like phonics for kids, maybe as an example. I used to have a phonics app, autism games, things like that. Okay. Anything you guys want to talk about while we're on ASO topic?
I thought the graphics are gorgeous.
Yeah, they're very cool.
Yeah, I like it. Let's get into the app because he wants help with subscriptions as well. All right. Any more votes? Got one vote. Okay. Let's see. So, yeah, I've definitely looked at your app, Fernando. Yeah, so you definitely want to show this paywall. I know it's a kid's app, but I have to assume a parent's downloading it first, looking through the onboarding. So remind users again what this app is all about on first open, and then hit them with the paywall. Just more people buy on the paywall than anywhere else. So, and then, oh man, I don't know if you need this, but I could be wrong because it's a kid's app. You might need both, but I don't think you need both. I think one's is fine. Yeah. I don't know. As a parent myself, I like to have my kid use it. I don't mind paying, right? So I think you play around with the prices. I don't mind paying. I just want to make sure they are using it. They're not going to abandon it by like day 2 or 3, right? And so once I see them using it, I'm happy to pay you. So play around with the prices. You might be able to get away with a higher price. And then secondly, I would do a 7-day trial versus or I might even do no trial, because as a parent, this is worth testing. I don't feel that strongly about it, but as a parent, I just want my kid to play around with some of this. And then I'd be like, okay, no problem. I'm happy to pay. So the intent to pay is very high. It's just, I just want to make sure usage is there for the kid. Ollie, anything you want to point out within the app flow?
No, I think, yeah, I guess if they aren't going to use a trial, then it wouldn't apply. But I was just going to say, emphasize the 3-day trial in the button itself.
Yeah, it's great. Great idea. Here, let me go
Oh,
back.
that's so good.
Thank you. I know my shapes, Michelle.
So cute.
Yeah, I agree. There should be like a start free trial. We've seen that be the best performing call to action. Start free trial year 2. And then,
Access is spelled incorrect.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
great eye. Both places too, up here and right here, 2 S's. Yeah. Yeah. Overall, and Fernando, I don't know if like I thought I was coming in for ABC, but then you gave me shapes. Where's the ABC part? So, maybe call it shapes versus ABC. And then it looks like a lot of this stuff is free. So where's the gated stuff? I don't even know what I get for paying you because it looks like everything's free. Maybe I have to tap something. Okay. That's okay. Well, let's see what happens.
Access again. Yeah.
I see. He just limits the usage. Okay. I think you have to play around with that. I don't know if I feel that strongly. I think as a parent, I won't, as long as they're using it, like again, happy to pay. So maybe you're making it uncomfortable. That's worth testing. But I think it's overall pretty good. Just a few small changes. You're on your way. Okay. Cool. Michelle, Holly, anything I missed that you want to make sure we talk about?
Oh, there's so many things.
Really? Shoot, I did a bad job on this.
No, you did a great job. I just want everybody to know that you can create anything you like in your life. You've got to do it on your own, but you can't do it alone. So remember that you're never alone, and that your higher self, whether you believe in that or not, it's a true thing, and that your mind can create everything. Everything is possible. Everything. And you just have to make a decision that you are going to become very, very free and independent, and you're not going to complain ever again. Every time you complain, you're just covering up something within yourself that you're afraid of. Maybe you're afraid of losing something you've got, or you're afraid of not getting something you want. So stop complaining. Even if you just do that, if you can stop complaining, your life will change 360 degrees. And never speak behind somebody's back. If you're going to speak about anybody, pretend they're in the room with you. Then what are you going to say?
I love it. No better way to end than that. Look, if you want to learn more, just search for Magnet to Money or Money Magnet in your favorite app. Or Android version is not out yet, but in the iOS App Store, or you can go to magnet2moneyapp.com. And if you want to learn all about Michele, you can go to magnettosuccess.com. And we got a special gift. If you go to micheleblood.com/appmasters, you'll get the amazing magic of affirmation power, all this free bonuses from Michele for free. If you go download the app, you get the audiobook that I just finished for free as well. So a lot of free stuff that we're giving away. It's going to really change your lives. And I really believe it, because all this stuff really has impacted me, and the lessons that I've learned from Michele through the book too, I completely agree with as well. All right, Michele, anywhere else you want to send to the audience?
No, just to, if they wanted to look at a lot of free videos to do with every topic under the sun, you could just go to themysticalexperience.com. That's how I met Holly. She's one of my students. I've got students from all over the world, and we have these great Zoom events where we talk about success and mastermind and meditation and light transmissions and prayers. And it's just really, really wonderful, positive group of people from over 26 countries.
Wow, that's amazing. I love it. I love your energy. Thank you. I've learned a lot, Michele.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, beautiful Holly and our team, Johnny and Dara and Trevor Rogers.
Shout out
to them.
Holly, do you want to send the audience anywhere else? Learn more about you?
No, all of Michelle's stuff they can check out, and just check out the app, magnettomoneyapp.com.
So, hey, we're going to be back next Friday. I'm going to be in Vegas, but I'm going to do it from my hotel room because we've got an amazing guest, Jake Moore. He's going to talk all about paywall optimization. He built a fitness app to, I believe it was definitely over $1 million. And now he's running Superwall. And so it's a really, really great insight. His tweet has been shared everywhere to me, and that's why I found out about him. But we're going to talk about paywall and how do you make more money from your subscription app. So you don't want to miss it. Like every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific. Angelina said it. It's her favorite time of the week. So join us every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific. Holly, Michele, thank you guys so much for coming on and doing this. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye.